Born on January 22nd, 1561 England, Francis Bacon was born to Sir Francis Bacon and Anne Cook Bacon, whose father was a tutor to Henry IV. Francis's mother was a cook that fell in love with Bacon. At the age of 9, Bacon attended Trinity College in Cambridge and finished in 2 years at the age of 11, when most normal people his age were still making babies. While at Trinity, Bacon discovered that Renaissance humanism was superior to Aristotelianism and scholasticism. After graduating from college in record time, Bacon turned to the world of politics. He was an assistant to the English ambassador to France and was knighted and became Lord Chancellor. His biggest political achievement was holding a seat in Parliament for 40 years. He wrote his first political memorandum titled A Letter of Advice to Queen Elizabeth, which was a letter of advice to Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth. But it all came crashing down in 1621 when he was impeached on charges of bribery, and as punishment, he was granted the title of Viscount of St. Albans in the same year. Bacon then retired from politics to focus on his favorite hobby, philosophy of science. Bacon focused on the empirical inductive, or the method where you should base conclusions off solid data, as what modern scientists should use for their research. As he thought about it, he realized that the universe is a problem that needs to be solved, but like all great minds, no one accepted his ideas, so to prove to everyone that his ideas are correct, he published his books The Advancement of Learning in 1605, Novum Organum Sectarium in 1620, and The New Atlantis in 1627. In the book Novum Organum Sectarium, Bacon stated, observe, and then make an inference afterwards. Bacon did not place a large emphasis on proving or solving a hypothesis. For Bacon, observation and analysis was sufficient in producing a better understanding, or known as the ladder of axioms. So, to sum up the book after a year's worth of explanation, Bacon believed that scientists focus too much on tradition and classical scientific method, and should use new methods to understand. So, in the end, Bacon is known for rejecting the old and trying the new, and as the father of empiricism. So even though he was a dirty politician, he is still the Bacon of his time. Juicy, sweet, warm, and something irresistible.
René Descartes was Frenchman born March 31st, 1596. His mother died within a year of his birth, and his father sent him and his two siblings to live with his grandmother. Although a few years later his father remarried, he didn't take the children back. He sent Descartes to his Jesuit boarding school for 7 years. At school, Descartes skipped his morning classes and stayed in bed because he was often sick. Later, from the University of Poitiers, Descartes earned a law degree in 4 years. Eventually, Descartes decided, screw this, I don't want to be a lawyer, and joined the military. Descartes met one of his BFFs and role models in life when he was in the military, the scientist Isaac Beeckman. Beeckman rekindled Descartes' passion for science. Together they studied Physica Mathematicas, but later Descartes backstabbed Beeckman by taking all of the credit for their scientific discovery. But Descartes does have some original innovations, like his famous quote, I think therefore I am. It sounds a lot cooler in Latin, cogito ergo sum. René liked sums. He's most famous for inventing analytic geometry, the course we all failed in 8th or 9th grade, and creating the Cartesian coordinate system. He liked to say things like mammals have hair, all cats are mammals, and therefore all cats have hair. Not true, they're hairless cats. Just kidding about the cats. Descartes wrote Meditations in 1641, in which the reader listens to Descartes meditating for 6 entire days on things like the essence and existence of material things and God. He said that there were 2 categories of things, thinking and non-thinking, like mind and body. He also believed people shouldn't try to scientifically study non-material things like God or spirits. Interesting, considering he did exactly that, deducing the existence of God in his Discourse on Method in 1637. So even though René was super smart, he was too old school for his oh-so-modern 17th century buddies. A deductive reasoner was not so cool anymore, and René's deduction lost to new sparkly scientific induction. To console himself, he had a daughter with his maid in the Netherlands, whom he was not married to. Then he left her and moved to Sweden to be Queen Christina's tutor. Soon, he died. Since he was Jesuit living in Protestant Sweden, he was buried in a graveyard for unbaptized babies.